Welcome back to Long Way Home, everyone. Lovely to see your smiling faces again. Today's main story is about a new, sleeker and more affordable Honda Goldwing. But first up, keyless motorcycles. How exactly do they work, and what happens if your battery dies, for example? Get your motorbike news in a pleasant way. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. So, keyless motorcycles. This option has crept up more and more on premium motorcycles, and while to some purists it's an unnecessary addition, to most it's a very welcome gadget. Imagine being fully geared up on a hot summer's day, ready to start riding, and for the wind to cool you down, you get on your bike and surprise surprise, you forgot the key. Frantically looking for it in every pocket, sun beating down on you, fully geared, helmet padding, battling the sweat drops forming on your head, you wish there was a better way. And there is. Keyless rides, or smart keys as they're called, have been around for a good couple of years on more premium motorcycles. While everyday usage is easy as pie, just press the ignition button while the key is in range of the bike, there are some caveats some of us don't know the answer to. Like, how do I lock my handlebars, or what happens if the battery dies, or can I push start my bike if the battery is dead? All good questions, so let's get into them. First up, how do you lock your handlebars? On most bikes fitted with keyless ignition, with the engine switched off but the electronics still on, you have to turn your handlebars fully to the left or fully to the right and hold the on button pressed until the handlebars lock and the bike switches off. Easy as pie. Next up, can I push start my motorcycle if it has a dead battery? The answer to that, if the battery is absolutely dead, is a resounding no. The electronic ignition does not need a whole lot of power to run, but that is probably not gonna be your blocking issue when trying to push start your dead battery bike. The electronic fuel injection and the fuel pump system will most likely be the larger problem. The real answer is, it depends on how dead your battery is. Don't let your battery die completely. Next up, can you ride off without the key on you? If you start the bike while the key is not on you but in range of the bike and then ride away, the bike will not stop mid-range. That would be dangerous. Firstly, it will furiously flash a warning light at you on the dash, informing you that it cannot read the key anywhere near, and if you switched it off, it will then obviously not start again. The best course of action in this case would be to ride back slowly along the same route until you are in proximity of the key and the bike's warning lights stop flashing. And lastly, what happens if my key's battery dies somewhere in the middle of nowhere? If this happens and you don't have your secondary key with you, who does? Most bikes will start if you place the dead battery key right up against the antenna receiver on the bike and press the start button. On most BMW bikes, for example, this antenna is right under the rear wheel. So how you would keep the key with one hand under there and press the ignition button on the handlebars at the same time with your other hand clearly is something that has baffled even the best of German engineers. Goldwing, one of the world's favorite bikes for people that secretly want cars. A new, cheaper and lighter variant of the Goldwing has been revealed to tempt buyers in the market for a big luxury touring bike. Simply called the Goldwing, this new version is around $4,000 cheaper and 14 kilograms lighter than the 2019 Goldwing Tour model currently available at dealerships. The slimmed down version of the big Tourer is essentially a base model which sits below the Goldwing Tour and the Tour DCT in the range. That cash and weight saving means you won't get the 50-liter top box or associated backrest found on the higher spec models. While this won't make your partner happy, it does make the Goldwing appear sleeker and look pretty damn awesome with its bagger looks. The engine and exhaust are black and grey instead of chrome, which just adds to its new cooler look. The stripped back approach also extends to the screen, which is smaller than the one found on the Goldwing Tour, although it is still electronically adjustable. Electronic goodies to make gliding along the open road a luxurious experience are plentiful. This includes an electronic suspension, a 7-inch TFT dash, rider modes, and an infotainment system featuring maps, Bluetooth connectivity, music, and voice control. But who will want to buy a slimmed down version of one of the world's most iconic luxury touring bikes? Well, this is where Honda's clever thinking comes in. By introducing a model with less luggage space and less wind protection, Honda has made this bike less practical as a long-distance touring machine. And maybe that is exactly what some people want. Maybe they don't want to be on the road for 5 days at a time. Maybe just a weekend getaway is all they need, and a slimmed down Goldwing will do that perfectly. But then again, if you have more than $23,000 to spend on a bike, maybe a saving of $4,000 is not enough to justify not going for the full-blown Goldwing experience. Only time will tell if this becomes a good seller for Honda or not. Honda's intention might not have been to offer current Goldwing owners a new machine to consider, but instead something to tempt those looking for a high-spec road bike for weekend rides and shorter tours. People who may not have considered a full-blown Goldwing in the past with all the bells and whistles, but whose heads might be turned by something a little more stylish, a bit cooler, and about 20% cheaper. Do you think this is going to be a success for Honda, or is diluting the full Goldwing experience not something people are looking for, even for a bit of a discount? Let us know in the comments. Well, that's the show, everybody. Give it a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and consider subscribing or becoming a patron if you've learned something new. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.